Hi, everybody. I wanted to do a short video for you to introduce some of the ideas about how the midterm exam and the final exam are going to work, the material that you'll be allowed to take into the exam with you, and how the material will be transferred back and forth to me. So the first thing is that you will be allowed 2 hours to take the midterm and 2 hours to take the final. The midterm will be taken between, well, 0 hour and 24 hour on June 19th, excuse me, June 26th, and 0 to 24 is Mountain Daylight Time. This will allow for students in different time zones to find a 2 hour window to work with their proctor and get the exam completed. The final exam will be given on June 19th, excuse me, July 19th. The dates are kind of getting to me today. I apologize. But you'll be able to take that once again. You'll be able to arrange a 2 hour window with your proctor on July 19th, sometime between 0 hour and 24 hour Mountain Daylight Time of that day. So if you're in a different time zone, you'll just have to adjust that and make sure that your 2 hour window that you've arranged with your proctor will correspond to sometime in that 2 hour window. Now, the way it will work, by 0 hour on that day, I will email the exam to your proctor. And at the same time, I will email the honor code, which I'm going to put up on the screen right now. There it is. This is also on the Moodle page so that you can refer to it if you need to. But basically, you have to agree that you will not give or receive any unauthorized aid, will not photocopy, photograph, transcribe, or in any way take any part of the exam or any printed material provided by the instructor from the room, and that you will not have any internet-capable device, including cell phones, while you are in possession of this exam. Now, if you fail to meet these responsibilities, you will get a 0 on this exam. Okay, and both of those exams are worth 25% of your grade. So what that means to you is you will get no higher than a 75% in the class, which means that even if you make 100% on all of your homework and 100% on the other exam, you'll get a C in the class. And logistically, it's just very difficult to pass the class if this occurs. So it's just very, very important that you not violate the honor code during the exam. So the punishment, or the I don't know if punishment is really the right word, but the consequence for violating the honor code or for engaging in academic dishonesty is outlined in the Northwest College Student Handbook, which is available online, but I think it's pretty clear. Basically, you can't receive help, which is cheating, and you can't give help, which is trafficking. Both of them are punishable the same way. So if one of your classmates asks you for help on the exam, you need to just say no. The other reason, from a practical point of view, not from an honor point of view, but from your own perspective, is if you help somebody on an exam and they get a higher grade than you, it's going to give you less of a chance of receiving a plus or minus grade at the end of the semester. So even if I don't catch the cheating or the trafficking, what it does is it changes the distribution of the grades if somebody has an unfair advantage over you, and you will become less likely to get a plus or a minus grade if you are close to an A, for example, or close to a B. You'll probably just get the next grade lower because everybody else's grades look better. So there are practical considerations and ethical considerations for not participating in cheating or trafficking. Now, the bottom part of this honor code has to be signed by your proctor, and your proctor has to be willing to agree to these requirements. So as you can see, it has on here an address to mail it to, but I'm going to change that obviously for this class, because what we're going to do is to your proctor will email the material back to me. Now, when your proctor emails the material to me, It needs to be the front page of your exam. In other words, the problems that I've written for you to take on the exam. It has to be all of the work that you've done. Even if you just scribble something on a piece of paper, I need to have that back. Any piece of paper that you have written on during the test needs to come back to me. The next thing would be the honor code. And the final element is, and I will make this very clear to your proctor, you are allowed to have a single piece of paper like this. This is in my own messy handwriting. All right. You can have a single piece of paper. You can write on it back and front, and you can put anything on that piece of paper that you want. That is your formula sheet. And what it allows you to do is to organize your thoughts before you take the exam, and then allows you to not have to memorize formulas or particular pieces of information, but rather have them at your disposal so that you will be able to concentrate on the principles and the problem solving technique rather than concentrate on memorizing pieces of information. So I would advise you to spend a lot of time putting together your study sheet. And then, like I said, you need to photocopy, or your proctor needs to send a copy of it back to me along with your exam. Now, the final thing is I want you to take your exam on engineering comp or quadro paper. Just like the homework assignments, your test should look like the homework template that's on our Moodle page. I know that sometimes it'll be a little bit more rushed, so it may not be quite as perfect, but it needs to follow that format. And full credit is only given for answers which include both units, if they're appropriate, and numbers. So if you just write a number down, even if you've started with the units, if you just write a number down, the most you're going to get is 50% credit. So you need to show me your logical progression. You need to think about every problem on the exam as being like an essay question. It's not just the answer. I already have the answers, as I'm sure you are aware. So what I want to see is your thought process. I want to see how you've worked the problem out. So you need to use that same format where you draw a diagram, you state your theories, you tell me how you do the problem. Now, what that also means is that if you end up with an arithmetic mistake at the end, you're not going to lose that much credit, because what I'm really interested in is how you've thought and worked out the problem. So you'll be allowed to take engineering comp paper. You'll be allowed to have pens and pencils, and you'll also be allowed a calculator, not your cell phone. The calculator has to be non-internet capable. So you can use a calculator like this very familiar calculator that we use frequently in engineering. This is a TI-84 Plus. You can also use a smaller calculator like a TI-82 or TI-83. It doesn't have to be a TI, it's just those are the ones that I have available to me right now. So you can use any calculator that does not access the internet. You cannot use a calculator that will access the internet. This is a larger issue because in the very near future, most of you will be taking the Fundamentals of Engineering exam, or FE exam. There is a list on the National Council of Engineering Examiners website of approved calculators for the FE exam. I would strongly suggest that you start using a calculator that is on this list, because the FE exam is intense and you are not going to be able to bring in a calculator that's not on that list. So if you are using a calculator that's on that list for your work every day, when you take the FE exam, you're going to be more prepared for that exam. All right, so if we take a look at our Moodle page, you will see that there's a homework template right here, which is going to be the way that you're going to turn in your exam problems. There is the proctor information right here, and that is the information that most of you have already sent me about your proctor, but you probably understand now after seeing this video that you will need to send me the name and email address of your proctor well in advance of the midterm, which once again is scheduled for June 26th. The reason for that is so that I can communicate with your proctor and make sure that there are no problems. And then it's your responsibility to set that 2-hour time window with your proctor on that day from 0 to 24 hours Mountain Daylight Time. Now, if you come down here where it says material for exam number 1, and you see we have the vodcasts, most of you have watched these, submit homework 1, which was due yesterday, and I've graded those. Submit homework 2, which will be due Thursday, June 15th. Then material for exam number 2, which is really the second half of the midterm. So just because we're in a condensed format, we're not doing 4 exams, we're just doing the midterm and final. But down here at the, I'm going to open this up today. I'll put the vodcasts up to YouTube, and then there will not, of course, be a take-home exam, but there will be down here, I will have a link to this video on YouTube so that you can watch this at your convenience. And then I'll also, of course, have submit homework for chapter 3 and submit homework for chapter 4. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know, and otherwise we'll continue on, and I will look forward to receiving your homework for chapter 3. No, excuse me, I'm ahead of myself. The homework for chapter 2 is going to be due this Thursday, and I'll look forward to receiving that homework. And then I'll open this stuff up so that if you're working ahead by any chance, you'll have this available to you as well. All right, please email me if you have any questions, and good luck with your continuing work in fluid dynamics.